Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is the countdown to kick-off, the build-up show for the first cup competition of the season, the Carabao Cup, a cup that Erik ten Hag has already won it in his first season. And we go again tonight at Old Trafford, Manchester United against Barnsley. And I would introduce you to my guest to my left, but unfortunately I have no guest right now. Ricky and Mordzs were both supposed to be here. Ricky's just now turning up for the forum and Mordzs apparently stuck in traffic, so it's just me on my own. It's like, does anyone know how to get to places on time? If this was under Erik ten Hag, there'd be a lot of problems with it. Punctuality, everyone. Punctuality. I know there is a lot of traffic now in Manchester, obviously, when it's an evening game, that always does happen, but when Mordzs comes in, you know, we might have to get banished. He's not going to be able to train with the first team. He's going to have to go and train with the academy. You know, got to have the same treatment as what the other players do. And yeah, so I am on my own. So I'm going to have to rely on the chat today for all the comments. And when Mordzs gets here, he'll come and join us and he'll come and speak to us about the game. But we've got to get started because we want to bring you the show, the countdown to kick off, the build-up show. Team news coming in. Score predictions from everybody associated with the United Stand that will go through the league table as well. And also just talking about how important it is tonight that not only we get the win, but I think a confident win is what Manchester United need. We need to come through this game with no injuries. We don't want any injuries to any players because that would be a nightmare. Hopefully we get to see some players we don't see that often flourish and do well, you know, under the Old Trafford lights. It is Barnsley, and no disrespect to them, they are in League One, so it's like you'd like to see maybe some fringe players or players ready to make that step up, get a bit of opportunity. There's some players that are probably going to start tonight that maybe have something to prove to the manager. We'll get onto that in a second. And ultimately, we need to win this game. We still haven't won a game under Erik ten Hag by a 4-goal margin. Will that change tonight at Old Trafford against Barnsley? Get your predictions in, get your score predictions in, and let me know what you're feeling. Everyone in the comments is feeling a little bit sorry for me that I'm all alone. I know. Why does no one want to join me on a Tuesday night? No one could get here for Barnsley. I tell you what, if it was a Liverpool game, I'd have 4 people lining up trying to be on the show. Barnsley, no one wants to turn up for me, but we can do it, me and the community. You know, we've been here before, we've done these shows before. We'll make it an amazing show. Do not even worry about that. It's CRJ says, Jayden Mordzs show. Yeah, Mordzs following in Jadon Sancho's footsteps there. Times then set a member for 19 months, must-win game. 100% a must-win game. Make sure everybody get your super chats in. Any topics you want to cover, get them in. It is coming out on Twitter, and you know, until we get it sourced ourselves, until we get it confirmed. But apparently on Twitter, this is the rumour. Harry Amass isn't even in the squad. Apparently, that is what the rumour is. We don't know if it's true. That's what's the rumour on Twitter. But I also saw a rumour on Twitter that Toby Collyer is potentially starting at left back as well. So I don't know what to believe, because I would like to think that Harry Amass is in the squad, because I feel like it's an opportunity for him to at least be in the squad. I mean, he played against Liverpool on the pre-season tour, and I know the pre-season tour, it's just a friendly, there's not really anything on the line. And the Carabao Cup, you do want to win a trophy. It's a good opportunity to win a trophy, but you know, we're playing against Barnsley here. Surely you can at least be on the bench, if not in the first team. And then Toby Collyer at left back, I also don't like that either, because he's a midfielder. He's a young midfielder trying to get himself into the team. Why are we playing him at left back? It just gives me the same flashbacks to when we played Amrabat at left back. And I know Amrabat wasn't a young midfielder, but he's a midfielder we just brought into the team, and he had to go and play at left back, and it wasn't his position. And it's just, again, it's glaringly obvious how poor our left back depth is if Toby Collyer has to come into the team against Barnsley and play at left back. And I think he can do a job. Of course, I think he can do a job. But should we be having to do that as Manchester United in this game? No. We should have a left back there to play left back. And Harry Amass, for me, should be getting that opportunity. But if Erik ten Hag thinks he's not ready yet, then Erik ten Hag thinks he's not ready. But he got a lot of game time on the pre-season tour, so it doesn't really add up to me. Get in the comments down below how you feel. A lot of people really questioning the Collyer starting at left back. I mean, what do you think about that? What do you think about Collyer starting at left back? For me, if that is true, I would like to think it's not true, but if it is true, I don't understand it. He's young, he's hungry, he looks like he's got a lot of talent. isn't the Mainu type figure that just comes straight into the team. I think he needs easing in, and not everyone has the same pathway. He is actually older than Mainu, funnily enough. I think he's a little bit older, but he comes from Brighton. We bought him from there, and he's gone into the academy. He's looked really good. Erik ten Hag apparently wants to bring him through this season. He's definitely one that Erik ten Hag holds high in regard. Toby Collyer, midfielder. Why is he getting put to left back? That's what I can't get my head around, because he's not a left back, he's a midfielder. And if you're going to give him game time at Old Trafford, give it him in his natural position, especially considering he's a young kid coming into the team. That in itself is, it's daunting, it's intimidating. You want to put in a good performance. Then playing him out of position, I think it shows how much Erik ten Hag trusts him, but also at the same time, it's not a great deal of experience for Collyer, because that isn't the position he's going to be playing in the future for Manchester United. Collyer wants to eventually play for Manchester United in the first team in midfield. That is where he wants to play. That is his position, and that is where he would see his future. And Erik ten Hag should see his future. Playing against Barnsley at left back, what is that really going to do for your, for kind of one, your confidence, and two, what is it going to do in terms of experience? It's not really going to give you much, because I assume he isn't going to be playing left back much in the future. Obviously, it gives anything his experience playing at Old Trafford, but you would have liked to see him in the midfield. And if he does start at left back, what is the plan? Is he going to play there for the whole game? Is he going to move into midfield? Is it because he wants to play Ugarte and Casemiro, but he doesn't feel like he can play Collyer as well, because maybe he wants to play, Bruno Fernandes, the captain. Maybe he wants to play Eriksen, someone a bit more creative. I don't know what it is, but again, it's just given me round pegs in square holes. That's what it's given me. Square pegs in round holes, whatever the saying is. That is what Collyer at left back gives me. And again, it just screams we should have bought a left back in the summer. And I understand why he would, because we need to rest Mazraoui. We do need to do that. He's come off the last few games with not injuries, but cramp, and you just want to use it as protection. You don't want to, if anything happens to Dalot or Mazraoui, we are in trouble. So I understand desperation, but it does scream desperation if Toby Collyer is starting at left back. Nothing against Collyer starting, by the way. I wanted Collyer to start. He was in my starting 11 to start in the midfield. I actually didn't have Casemiro in the midfield. I had Toby Collyer in the midfield with Ugarte. I wanted him to start. I think it's a perfect opportunity for him to start, but not at left back. But if that's the case, we're just going to have to get on with it and see how it goes. Jack FB04 says, "Hi Beth, the only Barnsley players to look out for are Phillips and Connell, who are their two number 8s. They are easily championship quality." Interesting stuff. I'll keep an eye on them when I'm at the game tonight. Club 1878 says, it's the way Dutch managers work. They want players who are versatile. It's very common for Dutch teams to play different positions to evolve players. Interesting super chat, and I agree with you. Erik ten Hag definitely likes versatile players, but I'm sorry, Toby Collyer isn't a left back. Amrabat wasn't a left back. We should be playing a left back at a left back. Okay, Dalot isn't a left back. He's a right back, but he can play at left back. Mazraoui, his best position's right back, but he can play at left back. That I can understand and that I can get behind. Dalot's done well at left back. It's not his natural position, but he can do it. Mazraoui the same as well. But to play a midfielder like an Amrabat or a Collyer at left back, okay, the opposition isn't the strongest in terms of Barnsley, the same that Amrabat had to face, but it's still frustrating when you want to see what Collyer can do in the midfield, in his position, where he eventually is going to want to be starting for Manchester United. But anyway, keep getting your comments saying, how do you feel about Collyer potentially playing at left back tonight? That is the rumour. Harry Amass not even in the squad as well. I think that's extremely, extremely harsh if it is true. But we finally have a guest to help me out. Everyone's been calling you Jaden Mordzs show.
Jaden Mordzs? What? Oh, because
you're late.
Yeah, my apologies. A lot of traffic, I don't know what to say.
But Mordzs is here now. Mordzs is here,
yeah.
And I'm going to throw you straight into the chat that we're having.
Okay. What is it?
Apparently, Toby Collyer is starting at left back.
Collyer starting at left back?
That's the rumour. It's the rumour.
I didn't even know he could play left back.
I don't think he is. I've never heard of him being a left back before in my life.
You know what? If he can and if he does a good job, fair enough. That means he's super versatile. He can play midfield and left back. He's coming like Amrabat, but yeah, that's surprising. If that's actually true, is that like a good source? Is that like?
It's just what's going on Twitter.
Okay. And Harry Amass isn't.
Apparently, Harry Amass isn't in the squad either.
Wow. Wow.
Which do you have any? Everyone, and he's only 17, obviously, and you know there's a lot of time. But there's been people in the chat saying, "Play Harry Amass," all the time. I knew he wasn't going to get Premier League minutes because you could just tell in the pre-season, like in terms of. I think this is the year to maybe ease him in slightly, but next year is maybe the year for him.
Yeah.
You could tell Erik ten Hag was like trying to hold him back a bit. But do you think? What is the excuse to not even have him on the bench? He played against Liverpool in pre-season, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's wild. I'm like 17, right?
Yeah.
I don't think 17 is too like crazy of an age to say you can't play against Barnsley. Like, is that too young to say, you know what? No, Barnsley's too high of a level for him to play. There's 17-year-olds in Europe right now. Yeah, I'm not going to compare him to the Yamin Lamals and whatnot. They're obviously playing at a high level, but there are over 17, 18-year-olds that are playing in Europe that are doing a great job. And then they might, like I said, they don't have to be first-team players. He could just be on the bench. Give him 10 minutes here, 5 minutes here. Let him get on the pitch at least to experience what it's like to play at that level. So this would have been a perfect game. I said this on the show on Monday. A game like this is a perfect game to at least trial and error like some players. Like, let's see what they can do in. You know, we're still very early in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup rounds. Let's not wait until it's the semi-final, quarter-final before we actually try these players out. Let's try them out now and see what they can do.
Do you think that is the trial for Erik ten Hag? He knows, obviously, Luke Shaw, he just can't rely on him. Malacia, it's going to be a long time before he's fully back fit. Do you think this is a trial for Collyer to be like, maybe I'll have someone else who can play there if something happens to Dallo or Mazraoui, God forbid? Do you think that is a trial for him tonight?
I'm still spun. Like, I'm still like, Collyer, like, is he even, like, he's right-footed, no?
Yeah, I think so. I assume he's gonna do the Dallo role where he inverts into the midfield because he is a midfielder.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of trust to put in a player to do that. And I know 100%. It's Barnsley, but it still is a lot of trust.
You can't even, like, we keep on saying, oh, Barnsley this, but, I mean, when we played Newport, they gave us a couple of goals. You know, they gave us a bit of a run, so you can never really underestimate these teams, because one thing about, like, these kind of competitions, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, is these teams, this is all they're fighting for. When I say all they're fighting for, I don't know where Barnsley are on the table. I don't know if they're title contenders. I don't know, but realistically, they are the cups for them are the most important things, because that's the only time they're ever going to get a trophy. And in fact, this might be the only time a lot of these players might get to play at Old Trafford or play like a Premier League stadium. So they're going to come in this game and they're going to give like 150%, because why not? This is the only opportunity they're going to get. So it's not going to be easy. Like, let's not think that we're going to walk over them. It's not going to be easy, but I mean, you said it before, we should be able to get this result regardless.
Well, they are currently 7th in League One, but they are only 3 points off top of the table. Wrexham and Birmingham sitting there at the top. Okay. Interesting stuff.
Where do you know where they finished last season? I don't know. I just want to know if they're like
Let me have a
contenders
look.
Or
they finished 6th last season in Football League One, so they're like comfortable in League One.
Yeah.
That's where they are right now, but. I mean, get in the comments. I mean, we've got another super chat coming in here. Get your opinions in. Abit Ghosh says the left-back role is more complex than a DM. Collyer should stay confident as the manager trusts his tactical ability to invert into the midfield. I just said before, Mordzs, and I get that, right? Okay, he will get experience from this. Yeah. But I feel like in the future, is he going to be a left-back for United? No. Let's be real. No.
Never.
So it's like, when he does get these opportunities, I feel like he should be playing in his natural position to see what he can do.
I get what you're saying, but to be fair, what that super chat or that chat just said, it's interesting, because I personally feel like the DM position is one of the hardest positions on the pitch. And I've said this a lot of times, but there's players, for example, you look at Amrabat, and when he first came to United and he had his debut, he was playing at left back, and I thought he did a great job. I thought he was pretty smooth. He didn't really have to do a lot. I can't remember what team it was that his debut was against, but I thought it was a pretty good first game at left back. But in DM, he made a lot more mistakes, and I thought he was a little bit more. I think near the tail end of the season, he got a bit more comfortable, but for the majority of the season, he struggled mainly in that DM position by himself. So I think it would be easier for Collyer to play left back, just because you've got that cover of whoever's next to him at centre back. You've got a bit more cover if the winger's tracking back. You might even have cover from the midfielders in terms of like pressing and whatnot. So the responsibility for a left back to make, or the chances of a left back making a mistake, I feel like it's a lot lower, rather compared to like a DM. It's a bit of a weird one, because I want him to do well as a United player in general. But at the same time, like you said, I want him to do well in this position, because I want to see how good he can do as a midfielder.
I do think as well, that position on the pitch, the DM, it's so hard to come by a top quality one nowadays in football.
Yeah.
Like you have Rodri, obviously. I know there's, Declan Rice for Arsenal is doing quite a good job. Is he an out-and-out six? That is still a big debate because a lot of times you think you've got this six and you're like, yes,
and then it turns out to be an 8.
and then it's like, oh, are they actually an 8? And it's like Rodri is that out-and-out six that is like the best in the world at this current moment in time. But it is hard, like Busquets, for example, was unbelievable. But it's hard to come across them sort of figures, and it is a really sought after position in football at the moment, especially with wanting to play more attacking players within your forward line. You need a really good six in there if that's the way you want to do it. So yeah, I do think DM is a very, very complex position, but I was just saying the Collyer thing was giving me flashbacks to when we started putting Amrabat left back, and it's just like, just buy a left back. Just buy a left back. We know we needed one this summer.
I feel like this season and last season we probably played about 6 players at left back.
Why didn't we buy one this summer? I don't get it.
We played Lindelof there. We played Amrabat, Reguilon.
It's like we like the challenge or something.
Yeah, it's like, why not?
Can we do this without a left back this season?
We played Bamastaka there one time. We just need to buy one.
Crazy. But anyway, we've got a bit more team news coming in. Again, I'm just going off this Twitter source, Ten Hag Ball on Twitter. So it's not coming from the United States, it's coming from Ten Hag Ball on Twitter. He has said that Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho and Antony all start for Manchester United tonight, and that Xerxes will be on the bench. So
that means Rashford down the middle?
Yes. Rashford down the middle. You would assume Garnacho off the left and Antony off the right. Thoughts?
I'm not a fan. Well, first of all, Rashford. I'm not a fan of Rashford down the middle. Never have been. I get it. It's Barnsley. He should be able to do it. I'm just not a fan. I genuinely don't think I've seen a game where Rashford played down the middle and had like a 9 out of 10 performance. I've never seen it. So it just doesn't make sense. But at the same time,
League One opposition, can he do it?
But why does he need to do it though? Like,
build off. I think what the thinking will be. Is Rashford didn't go on international break. So he's more fresh.
Should be.
Than Xerxes, and Xerxes only just come into the team, so he probably needs a bit of a rest. And he obviously did play an international break. And I think also the thinking will be he's just scored against Southampton. He's gone on a big goal drought. This is an opportunity for him to score a couple of goals and build that confidence up.
Yeah, but I get that in terms of playing him. Like, that's your reason in them playing, but like play him in the position you want to be good at.
But then Garnacho's got to play.
He does, yeah.
And it's like, Antony, surely's got to get a game against Barnsley, so it's like.
Oh yeah, Antony. Yeah, I forgot about Antony.
And then who would you play up front? That's the question. So, I mean, get in the comments down below. Do you like that front three? Do you think it's the right front three? Are you excited for it?
I guess he could. He has been obviously doing this whole. But how many midfielders do we even have? He can't. There's no way he's going to play Bruno again this game.
I think he will.
You think he will? Wow. I was going to say the only.
I don't think he should, but I think he will.
That's it. The fact that we have to play Bruno against Barnsley is insane.
I think it'll be Casemiro, Ugarte and Bruno.
You don't think Eriksen will play?
No, I think he'll save him for Crystal. I think he might start him at Crystal Palace.
Save Eriksen?
I think
you know
he
how wild
that is? This is the thing. This is not what I would do, guys.
Okay, yeah,
I think he might save him to play him against Crystal Palace on Saturday, because I think Ten Hag, he doesn't like to change a winning team.
Yeah.
I think Eriksen will start against Palace. And he's only just started to kind of come back into Erik Ten Hag's eyes recently. He's barely even started.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's not started. Has barely even played. But then suddenly he started a game, and we've ended up winning it. So Ten Hag will be thinking about that. And you'd like to think he has. He'll be thinking to himself, Bruno's his captain. Maybe. I think Bruno needs a rest. He plays every minute. He came straight into the Community Shield with barely a pre-season. He's been playing for Portugal international break. He's looked rusty at the start of the season, let's be honest. I think he needs a break, and I think he should be on the bench. But I think Ten Hag will start him.
Do you think, I saw this on Twitter one time, do you think Ahmad could ever play false nine?
Yeah, 100%. I think Ahmad can play multiple positions.
The answer is, for you, yes. I think as well that he could play false nine. It would be a bit of a weird one for him, because I don't know how it would, because I'm used to just seeing him come off the right and like cut in and whatnot. But if that is the case, then could he? Because realistically, Ahmad and Garnacho are going to constantly get subbed in and out for each other throughout the season. Whether it's at 60th minute, 70th minute, they're both going to get changed throughout the season, more likely than Rashford getting changed for Garnacho. So if that's the case, I'd actually just rather just see Ahmad just starting at false nine then.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like it's very unlikely that will happen because we know he's got Xerxes and then Højlund when he's fit, and then
I mean, just for today,
he
just
likes,
because
he
he
likes
can't
Bruno
play.
there. But I mean, just for today, you'd like...
Just for today, because like you said, he can't play Xerxes every single game. If one of the players who are starting is going to have rest, he's probably going to rest Rashford. Let Rashford rest, put Garnacho on the left, Antony on the right, Ahmad false 9.
But Ahmad, you know, we've got to be worried. Maybe he had that injury last year. Do you have to protect him?
He's not playing a lot of games, like, let's be honest.
Yeah, I suppose. But I generally think I like the debate. But for me, it's like the reason Rashford's starting up front is because he can do it, even though we know he's not great at it. He can do it. I would never start Rashford up front in the Premier League. I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. But against Barnsley, I think he can do it 100%. And it's an opportunity for him to get goals to build off the goal against Southampton. And I think it is a confidence thing. That's what Ten Hag will be thinking. And I understand that, and I get it. And I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm like, if Rashford manages to get a couple goals today and that sends him into, you know, this spiral now of where we know he's a confidence player and he starts scoring goal after goal after goal, like he did that first season on Ten Hag, well played. Do you know what I mean? I think the last thing Ten Hag wants to do is that, he's just scored against Southampton, he's just got off to the races. Let's put a pause on that when there is a really good opportunity for him to get some goals today. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And we know that Ahmad's going to start against Palace.
Yeah, 100%.
100% he's going to start against Palace.
Also, in terms of that midfield as well, because I feel like this is more of a trial for Ugarte in terms of him claiming his position than I feel like for Eriksen. I don't know. I feel like because it is going to be, if he does start, it is his... This is kind of like his debut, in my opinion. The Southampton game, it was a debut, but it was kind of like, I think we'd already winning 2-0 by that point. It was like, you know, just go in there and let's just see what you do. I feel like today is going to be like, you know, you're starting, you're going to get the opportunity to play near enough the full game. This could be his trial to say, on the weekend, play me instead of Eriksen. You know what I mean? Like, instead of starting Eriksen, I'm the guy who should be playing in that position next to Kobe and Bruno. So in saying that, if Ugarte does start, and let's say he's next to a Casemiro, then that means Eriksen could still play in that 10, and then, I don't know, Bruno could be somewhere else, or I don't know, Bruno can have a break. Well,
that's the thing. When you look at the team that he's going to play, you are, at the end of the day, like, you are playing. I don't want to be disrespectful, but you are playing a League One team. So how much can you realistically do? You know, like Antony's going to start. What does he have to do? He could score a hat-trick tonight and people still would say, you know, he's not starting next
fundamentals
weekend.
are fundamentals. If he can,
and plus with Ugarte, like, he's been signed for a reason. He should come straight in anyway, in my opinion. Yeah. Because he's going to be eventually a starting midfield player. Of course he will.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm just saying,
like,
in terms of that,
why wait around? But we know that Ten Hag does that.
Yeah. But I'm just going to terms of that, the fact that we have that one midfielder position left next to Mainu, whether it's going to be Eriksen or Ugarte, that's really the only conversation. I don't think Casemiro's even in that conversation anymore.
Oh, no, not at all.
You know what I mean? So it's just between Eriksen and Ugarte, and if they're both playing today, really it's just a trial to see who plays better.
Honestly, fair play to Casemiro because he did put through like a decent pass.
A good pass, yeah. But that's it.
In the later moments of
so
that
did
game.
Eriksen also.
But I genuinely like Casemiro. Yeah, I think he'll start tonight.
Yeah.
I genuinely was still worried about him in this game for mistakes. Genuinely,
yeah,
that's how low my confidence is with him.
You're right. I mean, realistically, there's...
That's how low my confidence is, that I think he could gift Barnsley goals tonight.
The only difference is, like, compared to Liverpool, Barnsley are not going to be as clinical. They might not be as just threatening in general. But I don't want them to be my last words, and then Casemiro gives them a ball and he scored like 3 goals. But I do think Liverpool are just a lot more threatening, like on the counter-attack. Hopefully, if he does make a mistake, we're able to recover and, you know, not concede a lot of goals from it.
Well, the starting lineup's about to be out, the official one, with the bench in 3 minutes' time. Do you think Ten Hag, well, we've heard most of the team, so, you know, it's Garnacho left wing, Antony right wing, Rashford up front, you know, apparently Collyer starts at left back. Don't know really much about the midfield yet, but Erik Ten Hag did say he'd rotate, but he's gonna take these cup competitions seriously.
Yeah, he has to.
Do you think it's one of them where Ten Hag is gonna take this competition very seriously because he's kind of lived off trophies as to why he's still in a job at Manchester United?
100%. That's why I hated the fact that he came out and was talking about how he's won a trophy every year or something like that, or that's what he's been doing his whole career. I win trophies. I'm what did he say? He's the second best performing team after City or something like that.
In terms of trophies.
In terms of trophies, and it's like you can't say that, and then I don't know. We get kicked out of the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. Now what? your whole career is based off winning the Europa League, or else your United job, you have no legs to stand on to say I deserve to stay in this job because you spoke so much about how you win trophies and da. As soon as you don't go a season without winning a trophy, what can you then say that you've done well? Because that's all you've spoke about. So he might take these trophies. It might get to a point where he's going to take these cup competitions more seriously than the Premier League, because he's thinking to himself, well, trophy's going to save my season. United could get to the point in the Premier League where we're, I don't know, 6th around that place, and it's looking bad. Like we might not finish top 4. He might think, you know what, I might have to focus on winning the FA Cup, which I think is crazy.
I actually still think United are going to get top 4. That's the story.
Yeah, that's a United fan's point of view. Like I still think that, but if we're trying to be,
but I get where you're coming from, 100%.
If we're trying to be non-biased, we could very easily end up in a position where we're around 5th, 6th, and it's like we got to battle to get a top 4. Like it's gonna be a series. We got to go on a good run of games to get a top 4. Whereas we might be in a semi-final or a quarter-final of the FA Cup, and Ten Hag might think to himself, if I win this cup, then I've won 3 trophies in a row. How can I get fired? He might decide to prioritise it.
Interesting stuff. We have some chats coming in, and the lineup's at 1 minute. Before it comes in, do you reckon Bayern starts in goal, or do you reckon it'll be Onana?
Oh, it has to be Bayern.
I think it'll be
Has to be
Bayern.
Bayern.
Man United literally dropped an interview with Bayern like a few hours ago, and I thought, why would you be doing that if he doesn't start?
No, it has to be. And if he starts Onana, then I just feel sorry for Bayern because what other club does that?
No, he's Bayern has to start. In terms of just managing your squad and keeping squad members happy as well. It's like, it's not dropping an Arna, it's literally just giving Bayern some game time and giving him some opportunity. I think he has
Literally every club does that though. It's only United where we're actually debating if our first team goalkeeper, our starting goalkeeper is going to play a Carabao Cup like round game. It's insane. But
okay, I have the team in.
All right.
Right, the team is in order of
numbers.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, he actually has rested Bruno Fernandes. Wow. I am shocked about that. So, it is Bayern in goal.
Yep.
You have a back 4 of Dalot, Maguire, Evans and Collier.
Oh my God.
And then you've got a midfield 3 of Casemiro, Ugarte and Eriksen.
Yeah.
And then you have a front 3 of Antony, Garnacho and Rashford.
Wow.
And interestingly enough, Casemiro's captain.
Casemiro's...
I mean, he is vice-captain after Bruno officially, but it's like after his performance against Anfield.
Casemiro's a vice-captain?
I think so. He always takes the captain's armband if Bruno is not there. I think he is official vice-captain of the club.
Fair enough. I mean, I would have said someone like, I don't know, Maguire. At least Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans? Say Johnny Evans? Or say Lindelof?
No, Johnny Evans.
Johnny Evans,
yeah.
So Johnny Evans, he should be a pretty good captain. Maguire's in the team as well, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's not...
Dalot in the team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that deep. I understand why Casemiro is captain because obviously, you know, he's won everything at Real Madrid and everything like that.
That shouldn't even be a good
But
reason.
after that Liverpool performance and the way he's performed for the last year, no.
Yeah, no way. And even like just winning, like there was 20 players in that whole squad. Should all of those players be captains for the teams because they've all won all the trophies?
No, that's true. That's true.
He's experienced. That's another conversation. Experience and being a leader to doing things. I don't think he ever had a captaincy once in that Real Madrid team. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But
do you want to know the bench?
Yeah.
Bench is pretty strong, everyone. So the bench is Heaton. So Onana's not even on the bench, which I think's fair enough. The bench is Heaton, De Ligt, Martinez, Mazraoui, Mainu, Bruno Fernandes, Ahmad, Wheatley and Xerxes. So it's a very, very strong bench. And this is obviously a reason why Harry Amass isn't on the bench. The only player on the bench there that is realistically trying to break into that first team is Wheatley. That's it. Wheatley's the only young player kind of on that bench that's trying to break in. Everybody else is a senior player, so... Ten Hag not taking any risks in this one.
But I remember like I don't know if it was last season before that, but I remember Klopp was playing like pretty much half a team of just like young kids, and it was in the starting 11, and the bench was like obviously first team players. But like we're at the point now where Ten Hag is scared to actually like trial out young players, in my opinion. Like realistically, half of that bench or half of the first team should actually be young players. They actually should be.
I think he is because he knows how important it is staying in the cup competitions and he just don't want to take any risks early doors, especially after the criticism he's had this season. I do think he could have been a bit more risky with
one or
at
two more players.
including one or two more promising younger players. Like I think Amass should have at least been on the bench.
Yeah.
Genuinely do.
You can only make 5 subs anyway, like.
But this is Eric Ten Hag's decision. One thing I am very happy about, by the way, is that he's actually rested Bruno.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Bruno always plays. But he's actually put his foot down and rested him.
Did you say he was on the bench?
He's on the bench.
He's on the bench. Okay, yeah.
So if we need him, he is there. But I think that's super important, and especially to keep him fresh. Because I know he'll run through brick walls for the club. I know he wants to play every minute, and apparently he hates being on the bench, doesn't want to be on the bench. Okay, but sometimes as a manager, you've got to be like, look, Bruno, we want the best version of you.
Yeah.
You can't be the best version of you if you're playing game after game after game after game and every minute. Did you see what Rodri said today?
Yeah.
Rodri said that players like are close to going on strike because the amount of games they've got to play. And he said, which is wild, but he said like to get your top performance, you play like, you know, I think it was something like 40 to 50 games a season is your top performance. When it goes over that, like you're not performing at your highest level. Bruno's played every game, every minute, unless he's been suspended or I think he was ill once or something. He's never injured. So he's played like every game and every minute for United since he walked through the door. He needs a rest.
And we get, for a team that's not been the greatest, we actually get pretty far in a lot of competitions. We just don't win them.
Yeah.
We don't win all of them. But we do get pretty far in a lot of competitions. So he's playing, like I said, a lot of minutes. And another thing as well is, I feel like the team needs to get used to playing without Bruno. Because I remember the last season where he was out for a couple of games and we couldn't even score a goal. That shouldn't actually be the case. I get Bruno is our, I guess, most creative player. He's a guy who's going to, if there is a goal, he's usually involved. But we should be able to fill the team without Bruno and still be able to get a goal. They shouldn't have to always look for Bruno. I know Ricky hates that term, looking for Bruno, because he doesn't think it's true.
He's not here, so you can say it.
He's going to be in the forum. He's
on the forum.
Hopefully Bruno, actually no, Bruno's not playing, is he? But yeah, the team need to get used to playing without Bruno, because you can't always rely or think he's going to get you a goal or an assist or do something like to create something.
If you're playing it well tonight, you know he's going to say, it doesn't matter who the opposition is, it's how you play, it's how you set up.
That's the thing, like I know for a fact, if we win this game, like a comfortable game, he's going to be like, see, like Bruno didn't play, we played a good game.
Yeah, I mean...
He's definitely going to say that.
Got some chats coming in. AC Tracy says, you can't start kids ahead of first team players who aren't playing regularly. Would upset the dressing room massively. You need to keep them sharp. Abby says, I think the team will have more possession and control today with Bruno out. I'd prefer Ericsson or Mount in his position in the Premier League. Well, I think Mount would have been a good game for him this, but unfortunately injured. Noah Laliberti says, are we seriously debating Ericsson to start in the Prem? He's only good against slow, low block teams. Crystal Palace are fast pace. He will get burnt so often. I'm not saying I would do it. Mordzs isn't saying he would do it. No. I'm telling you what I think Ten Hag would do, but now he's starting Ericsson in this game, maybe not.
No. I think this is like a Ugarte is going to play. I think
this, starting Ericsson in this game is a signal. It's going to be Bruno, Ugarte and Mainoo at the weekend, and bring it on. I'm so excited. Do you know what? And just get this super chat and we'll speak about Ugarte. Yeah. Thomas Owen says, Beth, what about Lewis playing right back, Gavardio playing left back and Foden playing left, right and centre? Is Pep a fool? By the way, Amass is far off required level.
Well, what point is he trying to make?
What I'm trying to... It's not... We're very far off Pep Guardiola football in the system that we play. We are. Look, the players that Pep has and how versatile they can be in the different positions he plays them in, hats off to him. Personally, for me, at the current stage where Manchester United are, I would just like to have a left-back playing left-back and a right-back playing right-back. I've said, left-sided centre-backs, right-sided centre-backs, they can sometimes go there. That happens. Left-backs and right-backs can play them positions. We've seen it United with Dalot. We'll probably see it with Mazraoui. We've seen it with Martinez playing there. It can happen. Toby Collier, who is a young kid trying to make his name in the first team as a midfielder, I think it's a lot to ask of him playing left-back personally, especially in terms of his development. I think, obviously, it'll be good experience, but it's not going to help his development as much as playing in the midfield would. But, it's not as if we're playing against Liverpool in the Premier League. We are playing against Barnsley and hopefully he'll be able to handle that, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Do you know what? If he does a really good job at left back, fair play, and hopefully that's a player that we have that's versatile, who can play multiple positions, that we can add into our ranks. So
Yeah.
that's how I'd come back to that. Netflix and Chilwell says he needs to mix it up and give a few players a rest, as he can't moan if we pick up injuries if he's not willing to let them recover. Darren Mulaney said start Wheatley up front. Paul Mavina says I think Wheatley will get some minutes today. Paul Mavina says too much, he hasn't played enough, or he's played too much, fed up with the same excuses. There's no excuses for this game. None. Sanil Duwan says the squad can do so much more with a better manager. Wow, okay. Coming for Ten Hag in a Barnsley game on Tuesday night in the Carabao Cup. Oh. Daniel Longbottom says Ugarte needs to start tonight to get him some minutes, plus his Old Trafford debut. And we've got Carvajal saying it's Casemiro centre-back and Evans left-back with Collier in the midfield.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense, actually.
Yeah. I saw that, to be fair, a lot. So I kind of did. I was thinking that as well.
But I was just kind of going off that rumour on Twitter, so we'll see, actually.
Yeah.
But that explains a lot, to be fair. And interesting, Ugarte and Collier, eh? That'll be good to watch as well.
Yeah.
Mita Presnick says, can you ask or message Ricky what he thinks of Bruno on the bench? He loves it, and I do as well. I'll message him. He might have already messaged me, to be fair. Dion Bota says, Amass played yesterday, so makes sense why he's out. And Noah Laliberti says, are you guys ever going to do a call-in show again? Would love to debate and chat with everyone. So many views and strong opinions is what it's about. We are bringing the call-in show back. We just need to get a date and a time and
I don't know.
and a setup. But we are bringing it back, and we're aiming to bring it back very soon. We are already talking about that. We're talking about it every week, and we are trying to bring it back 100%. But I'm about to message Ricky, because he's actually not messaged me, surprisingly. Maybe he's had a few pints. But I'll message him. I'll put the question to you, Mordzs, in the chat as well.
Yeah.
How excited are you to see Ugarte start in quite a decently strongish team as well tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited to see him start. I think, like I said before, when he did come on against Southampton, it's a bit of a weird start, because even though it was his debut, it was a bit of an easier... It was a good way to ease him into to that level of football. When I say that level, I just mean like Premier League football, because, like I said, we were already 2-0 up. We'd already got past that difficult stage where Southampton were kind of, I'd say they were controlling the game at one point. For about 35, 40 minutes, they were controlling the game very well. And if we had seen Ugarte, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but if we had seen him in that phase of the game, it would have been a completely different challenge for him. So we kind of saw him at the tempo was kind of on our side, but today we're going to see him from the start of the game. We're going to see how his momentum picks up during the game, and because he's such a, how can I describe him, like a tenacious kind of player, he likes to take the game to the opposition. He's not the kind of player to just sit back and kind of watch the game a lot. He's going to go out, he's going to fight, he's going to battle. It's going to be interesting to see how he does that over a long period of the game, because, like example, I see him for Uruguay at the friendlies that they played, and he played pretty much the whole game. And from what I saw anyway, he seemed to put in he was very, very like energetic. He's not the kind of player to like walk around. He's always running. He's always doing a lot in the game. So I just want to see how that energy will play out in this kind of game for United. But yeah, I'm excited to see him. I hope he has a good game. And yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, I just think when you get a new signing that's going to be so pivotal, he's going to be as pivotal as he is, you just want to see him ASAP. Yeah. And obviously the real judgment day will be Crystal Palace at the weekend. I
think he'll still do well. I don't think it's a crazy level for him to be like, oh, is Ugarte going to be able to play in the Premier League? Yes, he will be able to play in the Premier League. I'm not going to...
I think so too.
I think the pressure, because he's a United player, you're going to have pressure regardless.
Still only 23 as well, and I think, like you said, bringing him on against Southampton when thankfully we were up, eases the pressure off a little bit, did well in his little cameo. Today, full 90 potentially in his legs, or if not, quite a majority of the game, I assume he will play. And another positive result, it just eases you in, builds that confidence. Full game starting against Crystal Palace at the weekend. I'd love to see that.
And as well, he's playing with a midfield that, like, let's be honest, they're all trying to actually get back into the team. Like, Eriksen's probably trying to impress a little bit more. Collier obviously is trying to impress. And he's trying to impress as well. So I feel like because of that, he could actually take a bit more control in that midfield, because he's not playing with Bruno, who he already knows. Let's be honest, if Bruno's in the midfield, he's the main guy in the midfield. In fact, if Mainoo's in the midfield as well, it's Bruno and Mainoo who are the ones who are going to take control, and then whoever else is kind of next to him is kind of that's the position that kind of gets rotated a bit more. But because all three of the players in the midfield are all trying to fight for their position, or not fight for the position, but trying to impress Ten Hag, he could kind of go out there and think, you know what, I'm going to be the man in the midfield. I'm going to be the one who's winning the ball back the most. I'm going to be the one who's calling for the ball the most. I'm going to be the one who's keeping things ticking, keeping the ball moving. And we could actually see like a really, really good performance from him.
Do you know what, as well, in terms of, you look at that team and we have made changes, and yet he's still a pretty strong team. Like, you have Dallow in there, you know, Maguire and Evans at centre-backs, not shabby, a lot of experience there.
Casemiro.
You know, or I think it is Casemiro playing in midfield, you know, but that's what I'm hearing on Twitter, but I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Like Eriksen, you know, Ugarte, we've just brought in, Antony, Rashford, Garnacho, front three, like it's still pretty strong, and we've managed to rest some players, which shows. That's what I was talking about today with someone. I was actually speaking to an Arsenal fan who's my friend, and he said, one thing I will say is your depth has improved. He said he thinks we need more like starting players who are of a higher level, but he's like, your depth has improved, and that's something we massively needed with the 65 plus injuries last season. So that's a good thing, because a squad is what helps you, you know, takes you to the finals, gets you in the top four, gets you competing. That's what you need across the season, especially with the amount of games that there is. Gonna bring some super chats in for a second. This show is absolutely flying, but Mordzs, Antony and Garnacho, probably more so Antony. He has to perform tonight, doesn't he? It's like last chance saloon at this point.
He always has to perform. Like, when is he not? Like, Antony, every single time he plays, should be thinking, like, I need to have a 10 out of 10 performance today, or else I'm not playing for the next 10 games. Because realistically, he is our fourth choice winger, I'd say. How many wingers do you even have? I'd say fourth choice winger behind Ahmad, Rashford, and obviously Garnacho. Realistically, Garnacho can play both sides. I think Ahmad's a bit more versatile. We're probably not going to see Ahmad on the left, but he is a little bit more versatile. And Rashford can play down the... I say he can play down the middle, but he's going to have opportunities to play down the middle and on the left. Antony's the only player that can only play on the right. So if he really wants to stay, have that position, and I'm not saying make it his own, because I genuinely don't think he has the ability to be better than Ahmad. I don't think he has the capabilities to ever take that position from Ahmad. But he needs to at least put in performance to say, look, if you need me, like if you need a goal, if you need an assist, or you need someone who's going to run, who's going to work hard, who's even going to press hard, who's going to change the game a little bit, I am going to be your guy. So he needs to make that kind of impression to Ten Hag. And I said on the Monday show as well that, like, it's actually okay for certain players to be substitutes. I know most players, they want to be starting 11, they want to be on that team sheet every single game, every single week. But it's fine for certain players to be like, you know what, I'm actually a sub and I'm cool with that. Like, I'm cool with being a substitute. I'm still going to get minutes here and there. Most games I'm going to be able to, whoever's starting, whenever, let's say we're winning and it's 60, 70 minutes, I'm still going to come on and I'm going to get my 30, 35 minutes a game. I'm going to play cup games. I'm going to, when we need rotation, I'm going to be the guy to do that. It's fine for certain players to be that. And I think that is the level that Antony is at United. I don't think he'll ever become not first team, but a starting 11 player for United. And if he wants to have a long career here, it is as a sub.
Well, I think today is an opportunity he's been given. Eric Ten Hag said you've got to earn your opportunities and you've got to earn your place in the team. Again, I still think he could score a hat-trick tonight and not be in the starting 11 from Crystal Palace. Yeah. But, that would be a good start. I'm not saying he has to score a hat-trick, just play well and go out there and prove people wrong that are slagging you off. I know people say it's only against Barnsley, but you've got to start somewhere. That's what he's got to do. He's go out there and prove people wrong that have been saying he's not good enough, or saying, he's not a good player. It's only Barnsley, but this is how you take your opportunity. Then you might be able to get a sub appearance against Palace. Then you've got to work hard to influence the game then, and so on and so on and so on. But I agree with what you're saying. Ahmad's in a much better position right now to be our right winger, and I think that will be the case for the foreseeable. But again, you need depth, and you need players. You want to be able to look to the bench and say, you know what, let's bring Antony on because he can offer something for us. You want that, so that's what he's kind of got to try and do. But also, big question is, Garnacho starting his preferred position, which is the left. I know some people like him on the right, but his own preferred position is the left. If he has like a worldie of performance tonight, I mean, does that put the cat amongst the pigeons for Crystal Palace as well? Because you assume Xerxes going to start, and it's like, well, Rashford just scored against Southampton. Garnacho came on, got that goal. He's really trying to compete for that starting spot. Does that give Erik ten Hag a headache?
No, I wouldn't say it gives him a headache, because I feel like he already knows what Garnacho was capable of. He started for 37 games in a row last season. He knows what Garnacho is capable of doing. He knows how good he is at right wing, how good he is at left wing. I think Ten Hag, like I said, he's fixed on what Garnacho can do. He's just not fixed on what Rashford can do. And I don't think he's also as fixed as he should be on what Amad can do. And that's the problem. Really and truly, he should be fixed on what Amad should do. And yes, Rashford is a bit up and down, but the conversation should really be between what Garnacho and what Rashford can offer in certain games. But for some reason, the conversation is what can Amad offer in certain games, which is that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I think he kind of knows what the ability and what Garnacho can possess from both sides. So I don't think, even if he had a worldie today, I don't think it would change his mind on whether or not he's going to play Rashford or Garnacho. I genuinely don't see a situation where Garnacho is going to start more games than Rashford in the Premier League. I highly doubt that this season anyway. I highly doubt it. I just think from the way we've seen Ten Hag operate, especially with Rashford, it's likely he's just going to continue to start him every single game, regardless of what happens.
Interesting stuff. I think Garnacho is really fighting for that starting place and knocking on the door, but it's just but that's a good position to be in. It's a good position where you don't know who's going to start on the wings, because you have Amad locking down that right wing. You know, you've had Rashford scoring against Southampton. You've got Garnacho coming off the bench and always making an impact. You know, that's not even talking about Ten Hag's £80+ million winger that isn't really even in contention right now, and he's obviously going to have that opportunity to try and put himself into contention tonight. So it's a good thing you've got that competition going at the end of the day. It's only a good thing, because we want to score more goals and we want our wingers to perform better. And I actually think Amad has really raised that level. And and I actually like it, because I think, I'm not saying Rashford and Garnacho got comfortable, but
they did a little bit.
They did a bit, because Antony wasn't offering anything. He was out actually for a bit at the start of last season, remember? Sancho obviously was never going to be competition, because Ten Hag didn't like him, and he just wasn't even in the squad. So Ten Hag relied on Garnacho and Rashford a lot last season. And when you know you're starting every single game, like, you can, I'm not saying the players did, but you've got that assurity that you know you're going to start, even if you maybe do drop a bit of a stinker. Whereas now, Amad's come in, raised the level, and it's like, Garnacho, when you get your opportunity, you've got to show us something. Rashford, if you don't start scoring soon, you know, you're going to be out of the team, because Garnacho's coming off the bench and doing really well. So it raises the level, and Amad's done that, I think. Do
you think that Garnacho should, being a 19-year-old, being, this is his third season, but second real, like, having proper game time, second season, in my opinion, do you think that he actually should be, like, telling Ten Hag that I should be starting? Because realistically, as a 19-year-old, like, your role should actually just be off the bench anyway. I don't think
he should be saying,
not telling him, like, I should be starting, but
he has to prove it in his performances.
But I just think, like,
if he's good enough, then yeah, I think he has the capability to start 100%. But he's got to show that week in, week out, and you can't take anything for granted.
Yeah, true.
That's the thing. If you're good enough, you're old enough, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the way it is. I mean, there's so much going on in the chat. People are saying Ugarte's playing at left back. Someone's just said Ten Hag's playing at left back. Who knows who's playing at left back at this point? I think it's Collyer, but it might be Evans. Who knows? Ricky might put his boots on. Opta has Collyer at left back, so if that's anything to go by, Collyer will be at left back. Let's see. Someone said that Beth are winding you up with that one. I don't think they are. I think Collyer genuinely is playing at left back. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
We'll see.
Plot twist, Dalot plays there.
yeah.
And Maguire's at right back, could you imagine?
Dalot will probably be our best left back today.
But he's got to play right back.
He will also be our best right back as well, so that's a problem.
Emmanuel, thank you for your super chat. Constantine says, for me, season starts today with Ugarte starting. I think he has the ability to change our team completely. I think we're all hoping so. We need a game-changing midfielder, 100%.
That's a lot of pressure, but fair enough.
But this is the pressure that's gone onto him because we're so desperate.
Yeah.
Runner number 1 says, let's hope we finish the game with the centre-backs we start with and no injuries. That would be the plan, I think, because you know you're in a good situation where Maguire and Evans are your backups.
Yeah.
Your backups were.
It's a bit slow, but we can
No,
deal
it
with
is, but they've got experience.
Yeah, they can deal with it.
Maguire's done well recently. We're in a good position there.
Yeah.
We've got good centre-back depth. Jonathan Edmondston says, does Garnacho Worldy equal starting over Rashford? I must have subconsciously seen that before and asked about that, but thank you for Super Chat. We did just speak about that. David33 says, what if it is a 3-4-3 lineup? Casemiro is a centre-back too. Who knows? Erik ten Hag, he's puzzling everyone.
What, with this, yeah.
With this not out-and-out left-back
I feel like he's going to come with some
situation.
whole new tactic that we've just never seen before, and we're going to win, and everyone's like, yeah, we have to do this again. And it's like, that might have only worked because it's Barnsley.
Well, Mordzs, let's get on to players to watch before we go through predictions.
Yeah.
Your players to watch were Xerxes.
He's not even starting.
He's not starting, but he might get opportunity off the bench, maybe.
Yeah.
But another player you had to watch was Bayern.
Yeah. He's definitely starting, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Bayern there, just because I genuinely, he's one of the only players that I've just never seen a full game. Genuinely, I don't think I've seen him play.
Did you not play against Newport?
Well, let me not say never. I might have seen like 1 or 2 games, but I just can't. Yeah, barely see them play like a full game to actually see how good. Like, what are his best attributes? Is he a good shot? Like, is he better shot stopper than Onana? Is he better? I don't know, passing out than Onana? But I genuinely don't know. So. I literally picked him because I want to watch him. Like, I just want to see how good he is. Not because I think he's going to have an amazing game. He should still have a good game. He should still keep a clean sheet. But I just want to see how good he is, really. Because it's been a while since we've seen him play.
Obviously, Ten Hag's never dropping an Onana. It's not going to happen. So even if Bayern has a worldie, don't ask for it because it's not going to happen.
But he could still play like Europa League games.
But if he does play well, that's what I was going to say. You'd like to think he's going to get more than just one game like he did last season. He might get Europa League, might get FA Cup, he might get the cup competitions.
Yeah, because remember, what was the keeper's name? Romero. And I remember like in the Europa League, I think it was Ollie's season, he was having like an absolute insane run, and he got dropped for the final and we lost. I was like, I don't think he conceded a goal for like 9 straight games, something like that. Like he had a clean sheet record for a while. And then we got to the final and Ollie thought, I need De Gea. And then De Gea was the reason why we lost.
That ended Romero's career at United, and he was the best backup keeper ever.
Exactly, so it's not even crazy to say a backup keeper can play like a Europa League game. Like, it's not crazy, especially if they actually can do it, like they're capable of doing it. Romero could even play the Premier League game if, against the right team. But yeah, I think if Bayern there does put in a good performance, he could still play those other cup competitions.
This is a really interesting chat, actually, from School of Knowledge that I've just seen. He said about the disrespect of Casemiro as captain. It's not disrespectful, it's just a discussion. He said, as a captain, can you not make mistakes or have a bad game? It's how you pick yourself up and how you motivate others, and it's the experience a captain has. I think that's really true, actually.
It's true.
It's a good point.
It's a good point, but I mean, the way I look at captaincy is leading by example. And as a player, you want to look to your captain and say, you know what, whatever he's doing, I need to match that. If your captain is the one who looks the most nervous on the pitch, if he's the one who's made the most mistakes, if he's the one who you're actually not looking to give the ball to because slyly in the back of your head you're thinking, if I give it to him, he might make a mistake and he might lose it. That's not the role of a captain. A captain should be, look at the greatest captains of all time, or United captains of all time. You look at like a Roy Keane or whoever else, loads of captains, even like a Rooney when he was captain for a while. They were the players that everyone on the pitch used to look to because you know they're going to give 100%. You know they're going to drop a 7 or 8 minimum performance. They might not be the most flashy player. They might not be the one getting the goals or the assists or whatever. But in terms of just actual performance on the pitch, doing their job, the one who everyone's looking to for confidence, for motivation, they're the guys on the pitch. And that's why I was a bit confused at Casemiro because I just don't see him as being that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good discussion point. Good discussion point. If you want to fight back with Mordzs' comment, you're welcome in the chat. Yeah. LMP says, last season the timing wasn't great because Onana could have lost confidence if he got swapped out, but now this season Bayern will get more games. I think that's a really good point. Yeah. A lot of people are getting on Onana's back and there was calls to drop Onana and Ten Hag wanted to back his guy. Now Onana is established as the number 1. I think Bayern would be able to maybe get a few more games. I think we will see that. I think if you start in the Carabao Cup, I reckon he'll continue in there. Yeah. Wayne Finnegan says, Collier started off as a fullback when he was younger. He knows the position. Great to see Ugarte start. Strong team, but good to see players get rested. Harry Kane also started off as a keeper.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
You started off as a keeper. I think Rashford started off as a keeper as well.
Wan-Bissaka was a winger.
Mad.
Yeah.
McTominay was a striker, which you can actually see.
I think Mainey was a striker as well.
It's crazy how their players start off in it. United 1 says, looking forward to see the midfield. Hope Casemiro is at 8. KFJ says, happy for Bayern Day. Didn't even notice it first. Yeah, a lot of people. If I just know what the narrative is if Bayern Day has a good game today, but I hope he does, and I think he definitely needed a chance and needed an opportunity.
Do you think it'll ever become a conversation?
If he gets enough game time, probably.
Fair enough.
It just depends if you get enough game time or not. I asked Ricky about his thoughts on Bruno being on the bench. He said he's just resting him, not giving too much away until the game starts.
He's definitely going to bring some more information. He's going to bring his notebook again to the forum. You already know.
My players to watch was Ugarte and Antony. Reasons being, Ugarte, obviously, just can't wait to see him play. And then Antony, I think he has to have a good game. Like, he has to. For his United career, really. Like, if he can't have a good game against Barnsley, then, you know, you need to, really. And it's his opportunity and he's got to take it. So they were my players to watch. We basically already talked about them. But let's talk about the predictions, Mordzs, because we've got the predictions board. You're currently sitting at the top.
Yep.
Which, you know...
It's only been one game, but...
That's what you get for making a bold prediction.
I think me and Kev are at the top, and then after that, I can't remember what it is.
Need to wait to see it come back on screen. Where's the prediction board, Ryan? I'm trying to wait for it to come back.
Oh, I can see it, yeah.
Okay, I've got it. Okay, so predictions. Currently at the top, we'll go from the top to the bottom. Kev and Mordzs, who are currently at the top of the leaderboard, who got the score right against Southampton. Kev's gone with a 5-0 win.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
Bold. I think he's got a bit cocky because he's at the top.
Yeah.
Mordzs, you've gone with 4-0.
I was gonna go 4-1, but I was hoping that we'd keep a clean sheet. So.
Still very bold.
Yeah.
Greg's gone with 4-0. I've gone with 3-0. Goldbridge has gone with 4-1. Matt's gone with 3-0. Ryan's gone with 3-0. Sam with 3-1. Ricky with 3-0. A lot of people going in with the 3-0s. Maybe they're feeling it off the back of the...
We should score a couple of goals, though.
Yeah, we should. I'm wishing I went 4 now.
You think?
But we've never won a goal by a goal. We've never won a game by a 4-goal margin under Eric Ten Hag.
Have we not?
No, not by a 4-goal margin.
Wow.
We've scored 4 goals, but we've not won a game by a 4-goal margin. And we shouldn't concede tonight, hopefully not.
That's what I was thinking. There's no way we're going to concede. Like, if we do, then it's got to be like a mistake, like a one of them wild mistakes. But I think we're definitely going to keep a clean sheet. It was just, to me, it was literally like 3 or 4 goals. And I went 3 goals the last game, so I thought today I'm going to go 4 goals.
But look, everyone, that is it on the Countdown to Kick-Off and the build-up show. There are score predictions. Get your score predictions in down below as well. Hit a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Goldbridge is now live. Go and infiltrate the chat with Antony hat-trick. Go and do it. Mordzs, we'll be back with Kev and Ricky for the forum. Let's hope we're celebrating a nice win with a lot of goals. But we'll see you very shortly.